Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Thursday, March 6th, 2025, post market wrap up. I just want to answer a question real quick here. Someone is asking, this is Samsung Apple, if I'm still holding JEPQ. Here's what I did with JEPQ. Everybody knows this, it's public knowledge, period, the end. I got completely out of this market at the top, one of my greatest calls, honestly, in December. I have eased back in here. I have a very small position in JEPQ right now. Um, I'm I had exponentially more. Am I dumping that position? No, I am not dumping that position. So I hope that helps you guys. Look, man, I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm doing. They know when I'm doing it. I talk about it all the time. I put information out that maybe I don't talk about here. All right. I can get in trouble for some of the things I say. I'm not lying. In fact, I put out a piece of information and maybe in a couple of hours ago, which could potentially get me in trouble. Whatever, man. I've been there before. So this is why I urge you guys and girls to subscribe to my newsletter. It's really free. I don't share your info. Link in the description of this video. Excuse me. Um, so anyway, look, guys and girls, with regard to what we're seeing here, I want to mention something real quick. I'm going to defend President Trump a little bit here. All right. And we got to stop you. Let me just start off with this little philosophical thing here, real quick. This we're in so much trouble. And we've done this. We've allowed this to happen to ourselves. Bear with me for a moment here. We have been a conquered society. We're divided. Okay, people can't come together. The issue is this. Okay, I read through the comments and I see the seething hatred on one side and the love and support for the president on the other side. Okay, look, man, none of us, not one, should hope that the president fails. Because if he fails, we all fail. You understand? We got to stop. I don't know what it's going to take to bring people together, honestly. People are leading themselves to their own demise. Okay. So let's really start to understand that it's not about one person here. It's about all of us. This nation was supposed to be about people who can govern themselves. But what happened? And what it seems to be continuing to happen here is people have lost their backbone. When a world leader does something good, I think we should be able to appreciate that. At the same time, when they do something that we do not agree with, we need to keep our right to push back and say, no, this is not what we want here, without the expletives and everything else. You understand? You guys and girls get it yet? I really, really do. Now, with regard to the economy here, you guys and girls who have been with me for any length of time know I've been explaining for a very long time the faster that they can crush the economy and the middle class, the higher the stock market is going to go. There's going to be a moment where it doesn't work anymore. Okay. Now, let me say this too. At the tail end of the beautiful man, Joe Biden, okay, I'm not going to call him all. I had a whole list of bad names for the man. You all know that. Okay. I was not a fan. You all know my perspective on Biden, the Biden administration. I felt like he was driving us into the ground. Now, at the tail end of his administration, we started to see inflation tick up. Trump jumped on that. It's Biden's fault. Trump knows it's not Biden's fault. The fault is this debt hyper bubble that we are in. When you have, again, the last three presidents, which include Obama, Trump, Biden, and Trump is only in office for like what, a very short period of time right now. All right, whatever. All those extra bills that have been created here to vastly inflate the debt. I mean, it's an incredible thing to see that three presidents more than doubled the debt, take every president before Obama back to George Washington. The fact of the matter is, they knew what we know, okay? I've covered that there would be a time when we would have to pay the piper. The fact of the matter is, we have not had a booming economy under Obama, Trump, or Biden. All you need to look at is the money velocity. I've told you this a million times. I've even showed you charts. I've written papers about it. When you have the money velocity, or the rate at which cash moves through an economy slowing, that's the biggest tell you can imagine that we're not going anywhere with the economy. What the illusion was built on oceans of debt. Obama, Trump, Biden, and the stock market benefited from that. Okay, now it's time to pay the piper and paying for it. Just the issue was the rate at which cash was moving through the economy took a very long time for all those extra bills to make its way to you. And that's what we're seeing now. The doorway has been opened. It can't be stopped. It can't be closed without direct, and I'm going to say this, extreme measures, which means we're going to hurt. Okay, we need higher rates, much higher rates. The market needs to be vulgarized. We're already in a recession, moving probably into a depression. For some people, that depression has already started. For the throngs of people that are losing their jobs on the federal level, stop cheering for this, guys and girls. Okay, let me tell you something, man. I believe this with all I got. Lisa, thank you. We're all going to have to answer at one point for the things we say, things we do, okay? No way out of it, all right? Be very careful, honestly, because one day you're going to have to justify this. I believe this with every fiber of my being, and then even more than that. So be very careful here. These people their depression has already started. They're not going to find new jobs. Did you just see the jobs report we just got? It was abysmal. There's no jobs to be had. And I'm going to tell you something. This is going to deteriorate much faster moving forward. What we're seeing on the federal level, there's no way to stop this from bleeding out into the private sector. It's going to hit you. You understand? So be extremely careful about how much you're cheering for this and cheering for that. These are real people. And some of these people are on the same page as you. Conservative Republicans, they voted for Trump, and now they're out there and they can't find a job. They're not going to be able to, because the economy is in free fall. Now, here's the common denominator. When I sit here and I explain that the economy is in free fall and it's going to get worse, people automatically assume that I'm saying that this is Donald Trump's fault. This has been coming apart since I've been telling you. I don't know for how freaking long. Now, the policies that are in place right now with regard to the economy, not helping. It's not helping us because it comes down to the root cause of the problem. The root cause of the problem here is one thing, one thing. It's the loss of purchasing power of the currency. I can't tell you this another way, man. For those of you that are in school right now, that are studying economics, that are studying finance, ask your professor if Gregory Mannarino is correct in what he's saying, or better yet, just look it up for yourself. It's so easy these days. When you have this kind of a mechanism in place with central banks working with world leaders to keep rates artificially suppressed, meaning the purchasing power of the currency evaporates, this is a wrecking machine. People, it's a wrecking machine for the economy. And right now, there's not a single roadblock here being put up. We're still hearing calls for lower rates. You can't make it up. So I want you guys and girls to understand what I'm talking about here, okay? Do not cheer for people losing their job. Do not wish to see that President Trump or any person on this freaking planet, you're happy to see them fail. It means we all fail, man. How do I say this to you another way? Am I making sense to you guys and girls? You can say no, but I'm telling you right now that if I really hope that you guys and girls, no matter what box that you've been put in, can understand what I'm saying is true. Okay? So with that, look, man, we've created a beautiful thing here. And I believe this here. And I want some people out here, I'm not going to lie. I tell them to leave all the time. They're disruptive. And they think what I'm saying is anti-President Trump. And I understand there's people that got to defend this guy. But the common denominator, it just hit me today, is that I'm talking about how bad the economy is going to get. But I've been saying the same thing Every day. How many of you remember me blasting and shredding, berating the beautiful Biden? Do you remember that? Okay. I don't belong to a single party. No party affiliation. That's Greg Mannarino. I don't have a dog in this fight. You know, it's you. It's you guys and girls who I care about, who I want to make you guys see what's happening. And then look, man, I'm not trying to convince you of nothing. I want you to sit back, take in the information and say, you know what? This sounds right. This doesn't sound right either. But I'm here to tell you, look, man, what you're seeing here with the economy, this is a cumulative effect. And it's global. It's global. So the common denominator is who's doing this? What institution is responsible? Well, it's this one. This is Neel Kashkari, not Kashkari, also known as, I used to call him Imhotep. You know, I don't know. I'm trying to be nice these days. Okay, Imhotep. We'll talk about Imhotep in a long time. It's central banks. These wicked institutions here who aren't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Okay, let's just get to real. Are collectively the most destructive force the world has ever seen. They're wiping out an entire global population. I'm talking about the middle class. We are people moving in towards this two-tier society. Extreme haves and extreme have-nots. The middle class is becoming extinct. They can't survive in this environment. And no one is putting up a roadblock here. We are having a crypto summit tomorrow. President Trump is having his first cryptocurrency summit. I wish we were having a return to a constitutional money summit tomorrow, but that's not what we're having. We're having a cryptocurrency summit. Now, if you guys want to take that as me putting down President Trump, I'm saying this is what I would rather see. Does that make me a bad person for telling you what I would like to see? Or should I just get on my knees, lick the man's feet, and say, you know, do whatever you want, your most worshipful Donald Trump? What should I do? You guys are telling me, man. I don't like what we're seeing anywhere. I haven't liked what I'm seeing anywhere. To President Trump's credit, he's done some things that have to be done. I do not like the way things are being done by Doge. All right. I just don't. I think this chainsaw thing with Elon Musk, we should be going after this in a much better systematic way instead of what's going on here. This is a problem. And again, what's happening there on the federal level, as bad as it is now for people that are in their own depression, you're going to get hit too. You're going to get hit the same way. The mass layoffs there, they're coming. I'm going to tell you something else. I did a video recently. I told you we got 6 months. This economy here in the United States and around the world, we got 6 months for some major change to occur. Because if we don't get some major change relatively soon, this will be unrecognizable in 6 months where we are right now. I believe we are going to see more rate cuts by central banks, which means more purchasing power destruction. But that's not going to hit you for a while. It's still going to take a while for that to make its way through to you. But we still have to deal with the initial brunt, which is hitting us now. The tsunami, I don't know the way to put it, that's picking up velocity and growing larger. It can't be stopped without direct intervention. Nothing going on. There is nothing, zero going on right now to stop it. All right. We need action from a world leader on, and I was hoping, but it doesn't seem to be. Again, we're having this big summit tomorrow on cryptocurrency. That should tell you where we're going, as opposed to a roadblock being put up with regard to inflation. Does this sound right to you, guys and girls? I really hope it does. It's unfortunate. It really, really is. But that's the way it goes. Now, let's just cover this market real quick because we have a lot of tells here. Let's start off with the dollar. The dollar is still falling. Not much today on a relative strength basis or comparative. Abe, thank you. I appreciate that. This is really not what we should be seeing. Generally, in this kind of environment, especially with the market doing what it's been doing. All right, here. And again, guys and girls, do yourself a favor right now, just for a second. There's a link in the description of this video to my website. I want you to click on that. Find it. Click on it. You see that window that just opened up? If you scroll down just a little bit, you're going to see my interpretation of the S&P 500 or the broader stock market. I don't want you to read it right now if you haven't gotten a chance to read it yet. I want you to read that at the end of this video. Even if you're not into the market, you're not into stocks or ETFs, you're still in the market. If you're working for central bank issued notes, you're in the market. Okay, these are tradable assets. If you're consuming, if you're transacting, you're in the market. You may think you're not. People feel like they're disconnected, but you're in it. So understand what's happening with the stock market. Now, if you go down just below that on the page you just opened, okay, link down here, you're going to read what I said about the dollar index here. And the issue is we got a problem. It's going down, and it shouldn't be doing that. The dollar is generally seen as a safe haven. Now, the debt market, very unstable here. Around the world, last night, massive sell-off in the debt market is hitting stocks. The debt market is supposed to be rock solid. Now, I think, I could be wrong here. Just bear with me. I believe that we're going to see central banks get in here and try to stabilize it, which means they got to create cash out of nothing, start buying more debt. You understand? That's the goal of central banks. They have but one goal: to buy it all, to own it all, to issue debt through one door in the form of currency, and to buy it back in the form of government. That's the government debt. That's the only thing supporting where we are. This is an illusion, all of it. Now, today the stock market got hit pretty good. All right. It's not a good sign. Where was I up to here? Oh, yeah. I showed you the dollar. Not good. We should be seeing the opposite of that. Does that make sense to you? Dollar seen as a safe haven. You should be seeing the dollar strengthened against other currencies, right? My currency traders out here, come on, man. Let's hear from you. Commodities under pressure. When a market sells off like this, the market throws everything out with the bath water generally, okay? In a full-on meltdown, which will begin and end in the debt market, everything is going to get thrown out with the bathwater first. All right. Bear with me because we're going to face that moment, and I got your back there too. Just stick around. All right. I have a few things I can still teach you. Commodities lower. Cryptocurrencies, not all great. Cardano down here at the bottom, still getting hit pretty good. XRP doing pretty well today. All right. Now, we got some economic news I want to talk about in a second. Let's cover this first. I sent a video out to all of you with this beautiful man here. This is Neel Kashkari, also known as Imhotep. This is what Neel Kashkari had to say. You do not need to take your cash out of the banks. This is word for word. Your ATM is safe. Your banks are safe. There is enough cash in the financial system. This is not true. We have a massive, insurmountable global liquidity crisis. And the fact of the matter is, and he knows it's true. Neel here knows what I'm saying is true. You know it's true. The fact of the matter is they got to continue to pump the system. The system is debt-based. You all know that. It's a black hole. It's a vacuum. It has to suck more and suck and suck and suck and suck and suck more. Currency must be provided to fill the gap. It can never be filled. It's just continuous. It's just a vacuum. Now, he wants you to think that there's enough liquidity in the system. We are going to face a liquidity crisis on a scale that people are not going to believe. That's the real issue. In 2008, that was the real problem when the meltdown, the financial crisis. What we're going to face now is going to make that look like walking through the park eating an ice cream cone. But he can't tell you that. But what he did say, and this is interesting, this is where I want to get to. So he goes on to say there is enough cash in the financial system. This is a lie. He goes on to say, are you ready? This is his word. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. That is also a complete lie. He can add digits to a screen in any amount he wants to. But what Neel can't tell you is, and will never tell you, a central banker won't tell you, no one's going to tell you, but it's common sense. If he were to just add an infinite amount of zeros to the screen, what would happen? The currency would collapse, leading to a much worse liquidity crisis here. You understand? A currency crisis. We're already in a currency crisis. We're in a debt crisis. We're in a multi-crisis environment. If you've been with me for any length of time, you know what I'm talking about here. So there is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. Now, he goes on to say, the last thing, those who dwell in the hallowed halls or demonic halls of the Federal Reserve, we will do whatever we need to do to make sure there is enough cash in the banking system, which means he's telling you straight out, he will kill the currency just to fill the void, which means you lose. Now, explain to me, how does this guy still have a job? Why isn't anyone calling him out? Why isn't Elon Musk getting rid of him? Can anyone smarter than me, which is every single one of you, tell me why this guy is still there? Because it's baffling to me. It really, really is. Now, let us move on. Now, this is not going to be a surprise to you. And what I'm about to show you, again, we call this, we nailed it to the wall. What I'm about to show you is going to get worse. U.S. trade deficits balloons to a record. Many economists now see negative GDP growth moving forward here. The economy is collapsing. Our economy was collapsing all through the Biden administration. And under Trump, we weren't doing anything except inflating more debt. It was the illusion here. It took a long time for that cash to make its way through the economy, which is a wrecking machine for the middle class, a wrecking machine for the economy. Now it's hitting. And unfortunately, Trump's got to deal with it. Now, again, I personally have reached out to President Trump, I don't know, at least 20 times. I've heard nothing. If I ever hear something back from the man or anyone in his cabinet, I would really appreciate that because Donald Trump is not stupid. I've said this a million times. Please do not let what I'm about to say upset you, all right? Because some people might get ticked off about what I'm going to say. I do not believe, and this is my opinion. You're absolutely entitled to yours. You can post your opinion here, and I will say you're entitled to yours. I do not believe that Donald Trump understands economics and finance almost to the point of zero. It doesn't appear that way. That's to me. It's my opinion on it. Obviously, Biden had even less than zero, and Kamala even less than that. But Trump does not, in Greg Mannarino's opinion, understand the economy and finance, how these things play together. He doesn't get it. Either that or there's something else going on here. Because we, the people, are being thrust, as I've been telling you, we've spoken about 1,000 times, a worst case scenario. Now, I posted earlier today that President Trump's or our U.S. Treasury Secretary, Howard Lutnick, put out a post saying that, and I put this out as soon as I found out about it. Jonathan, thank you. Ronix, thank you too. Calm down. The Donald understands. I'm sorry, man. He doesn't understand. You may think he understands it. You're entitled to your own opinion. I'm entitled to mine as well. He doesn't understand economics and finance. And no businessman, and I'm not calling the man out, has had more failed businesses than Donald Trump. Donald Trump's 3 casinos, a casino, which is a rigged game, they all went bankrupt. He made his money not in business, in other ways. You might want to look this stuff up. I mean, it's an incredible situation here. It's absolutely true. And those of you giving you a thumbs up here, they don't understand either. They have an issue. They don't get it. I'm not calling the man out. I'm telling you what appears to be going on here. He knows sure how to inflate the debt. Look at his last tenure here, period, the end. He knows how to work with the Federal Reserve, which I believe is going on here as well. Anyway, henceforth, why people like Neel Kashkari still have a job. But anyway, when I put this out, I was told that I was putting out fake news, that President Trump here. So President Trump's Commerce Secretary signals the possibility of a broader tariff pause. Anyway, so I was told Greg is putting out fake news. Greg is putting out fake news. It's not fake news. This did happen. Trump did pause tariffs, which we know, and now he's actually broadened the scope of the pause here. More proof here for you for those who think that Greg puts out fake news. Anyway, that's what I wanted to show you here. I would never do that to you. And I always ask you to verify what I say. I understand that this looks Let me tell you something about this flipping back and forth with the tariffs. And then 1 minute the tariffs are good, and 1 minute the tariffs are bad. I mean, for the entire, I watched the whole all of Trump's rallies, probably most of them, and it was tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. They're going to make us rich. We're going to do well. Not one time ever did President Trump explain that there would be a possibility that we would get tariffs in return, that the United States would get hit this way. It didn't happen. That's a problem in my view. I mean, I'm watching this stuff saying, really, why are the people cheering for this when did they not understand that this is not going to go unchecked or unchallenged? President Trump doesn't like to see what's happening to the stock market here. A lot of this is uncertainty, and you're seeing the debt market, which regard, okay, one day the tariffs are on, one day the tariffs are off. I'm going to tell President Trump, stick to one or the other. Either the tariffs are the greatest thing, because that's what he told us all during the run-up. All right, I'm not putting Trump down. I'm just telling you what happened. If I get it wrong, please call me out. Tell me I'm getting this wrong. And, explain it to me. Tariffs were the greatest thing. They're going to make us rich. What's the real inflation rate? Yeah, 3-4 times what they're telling us. So either stick to the tariffs, but then the market's going to get hit, or whatever, man. I understand that this is a tactic to negotiate. And like I said this morning, I said, let's not look at this when we found out that Trump was going to, roll back tariffs again. If they're on, they're off, they're on, they're off. Okay. I said, maybe this is going to work. Maybe we'll get some adults in the room, and because we, the people, are going to pay for it. Okay. But you weren't told any of this stuff here. Anyway, look, man. The last thing I want to show you guys, I think I did everything I wanted before we go on to some questions. All right. I asked AI. Here's my question. You're going to love this. Would you consider the overall stock market valuations high, normal, or cheap? You probably know what the answer was from AI, but listen to this. AI's answer: U.S. stock market valuations are considered high, and current valuations may not be sustainable. Investors should exercise caution. That's word for word. We all know this. This isn't like something, I just wanted to hear what it had to say. Let me tell you this again, but I've been telling you for 1,000 times. This market has no bearing on reality. It's a house of cards. The economy is being destroyed. And meanwhile, we haven't seen anything with regard to the destruction of the economy. When we're going to experience a locking up of the system, which was the real issue in 2008. Okay. The stopping of the flow of credit through the markets. And then they're going to tell you there's a solution. That's what worries me the most. Why is not a single roadblock being put up to stop the inflationary tsunami? Again, we have a cryptocurrency summit at the White House tomorrow. Great. It's fantastic. Let's do that. But how about having a summit of people who really understand economics and finance in the same room with President Trump? I would be really happy to attend this and support President Trump 100%. Okay, I really would. But the guy needs to get his act together. Okay, don't get triggered. Just don't flip out. If you guys have any understanding of what I'm saying, if you have even a normal IQ, what I'm saying to you should make sense to you. We need to tackle this situation here with regard to currency purchasing power destruction head on, and it needs to be done now because of the lag effect. If in fact, again, I told you this a million times, but I'm going to say it one more time. President Trump saw this video. Someone in his staff saw this video. Says, this is guy out there, this guy, Greg Mannarino, kind of a freak. But he's a smart little freak. He's a little freaky. He's a freaky guy, but he's smart. So maybe you should listen to Greg here, what he's talking about with regard to how the tsunami of inflation is coming at us, is getting larger, is picking up velocity here. Maybe we should do this. Maybe we should contact Greg Mannarino. He's got some good ideas. But here's the situation. Even if today, right now, not tomorrow, today, Trump signs an executive order like he did to pause tariffs today. Okay. Ryan, thank you, buddy. It would take a while. It could even take years for the effect of rising. First of all, well, hold on a minute now. Let me back up. The effect of that would hit borrowing immediately. Okay. But with regard to inflation coming at us, it's still going to hit. It's coming. We're going to still get hit. It'd take a long time for Even if, we were to see a dramatic raising of rates here, it could take a year. It could take 2 years for that to actually take effect. That's why we need action now. Does this sound right to you, what I'm saying? Or is just Greg just doesn't understand anything at all? Because that's possible. All right. And I want you guys and girls to let me know. All right. Look, man, we covered a lot of stuff here. I'm going to take a couple of questions here, and then we're going to get out of here. I already explained the Mar-a-Lago Accord, man. The Mar-a-Lago Accord, look, man, it's nothing but a debt restructuring program, okay? And it's basically admitting to the world that we can't pay our debts anymore. The Mar-a-Lago Accord is going to allow, or maybe even force, foreign investors who hold large amounts of U.S. debt to convert that debt into 100-year bonds that pay no interest. You heard that right. The Mar-a-Lago Accord works like this. Investor XYZ nation, because it's got to be a nation. It can't be an individual who would buy a 100-year bond. Okay. They're going to be offered or told they must, because if they don't do it, they're not going to get paid back. Remember, it's a Ponzi. We're involved in a Ponzi scheme. You have to borrow to pay. Borrow to pay. You understand? It's a Ponzi of the highest order. I wrote a whole paper about this. I sent it all out to you. You guys should know how this works backwards and sideways. So foreign investors are going to be forced or told, you're going to take your investments in debt, you're going to put it into these 100-year bonds. There are two perks. There are two perks to these 100-year bonds. And you need to know what these two perks are if you don't know. Does anybody know? Don't make me upset here, man, because I explained this to you. There are two perks to these 100-year bonds. I'm going to tell you what the perks are. Okay. Number one perk is these investors who own lots of debt, they will be able to buy that debt for less than the 100-year bond for less than face value. That doesn't mean that the debt doesn't need to be paid back. It has to be paid back in 100 years. That's perk number one. Perk number two, there may be three perks. All right. Perk number one is, again, investors can buy the bond below face value. So they get an immediate benefit. You understand? They can't exercise that benefit for 100 years. That's the first perk. The second perk is they can borrow from the Federal Reserve off the bond, which gives the Federal Reserve more power. More power. It doesn't take any power away from the Fed. It makes them stronger. Okay. Now, the third perk is we don't have to pay interest on it. Okay. Because again, there's no coupon or there's no interest that has to be paid on the 100-year bond. They're just buying it at face value. Perk number one. Perk number two, they get to borrow from the Federal Reserve by owning the bond. Okay. That's perk number two. Perk number three is for the United States, it allows us to not have to pay back the debt. So it's a scheme in many ways. No one wants to pay the piper here. It does not stop. And in fact, it may cause the debt to inflate faster. But it allows us to service the debt longer. It's really a Ponzi, man. It's a Ponzi on a massive scale. So do you guys and girls now understand what the Mar-a-Lago Accord is? I really hope you do, because I don't think anyone does. They hear the name. It's associated with President Trump, so it must be sent from heaven. You understand? It's not. It's a Ponzi. And it's admitting to the world that we can't pay our debts. We're insolvent. Without the Fed buying it all, it's over. And this is going to get dramatically worse as the economy continues to free fall moving forward. Does this make sense to you, what I'm saying at all? I hope so. John Doe says it sounds like crap. I believe gold is the solution. Absolutely. WW3 Mutant. I sincerely believe that if President Trump exercised the Gold Reserve Act of 1934, which allows the president to monetize gold, even if it's one bar. Greg, there's no gold. There is no gold in Fort Knox or whatever where they keep this stuff. How can we back it? He can revalue the gold in that one bar that the United States has to whatever he sees fit. He can make it $1 billion trillion per ounce. The president has the ability to revalue the gold. So all of you out here keep writing to me, Greg, there's no gold, so we can't do that. I don't care if there's 1 ounce of gold. We can use that 1 ounce to monetize the gold, back the dollar. So please, guys and girls, before you write things like that to me, really know what you're talking about, because it only makes you look dumb, and I don't want to get upset here, man. Anyway, so yes, Gold Reserve Act of 1934. President Trump exercised it. That it's put there for a reason, to stabilize the economy. Does the economy look stable to you? No, we're being destroyed. Back the dollar with that gold. President Trump revalues gold, that whatever he wants. Me, I've already told you what it should be. 50, 60, 70,000 an ounce. Jonathan, thank you. Of course we trust God, not the Fed, man. But you know what? God wants us to look out for ourselves as well. Have our faith as well too. Sound about right to you? Or you want to let the system destroy you? Because that's what's going on here. This is not the way this was intended to be. Anyway, this is how it would work. Gold could save the system. President Trump wants to talk about cryptocurrency. He doesn't want to talk about gold. Okay? That's why we're having the summit tomorrow. This is how this would work. What would be the effect of this? Initially, I think it would send shockwaves around the world. And I think it would potentially, because again, we'd be going from a debt-based system into a wealth-based system. That transition period could be rough. Could be rough. But at the end, it would turn everything around. And I believe that President Trump were to do this, again, he would save the entire world from a curse. The curse of central banks. The curse of Imhotep here. Okay? The curse of Imhotep, whose debt-based system, which is infinite. There is only one infinite source. And I think you know what I'm talking about here. One and one only. God Almighty is infinite. There's nothing else that's infinite. This thing, okay, yeah, it's a thing. It's not even human. I'm sorry. Okay. You might think it is, but it's not. So what I'm saying, people, listen, man. President Trump wanted to save the United States and maybe even the world. This is how he could do it. I doubt that's going to happen. Unfortunately, again, we're having a cryptocurrency summit tomorrow. That should tell you something. All right, guys and girls, listen, I'm going to call this. I love you guys. I mean it. Thank you for being here. I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, if I have earned your thumbs up, I would appreciate that. We have over 2,000 people watching this live stream right now. And unfortunately, only 595 thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, there's a lot of people that watch this, but they don't subscribe. Why not? Please subscribe, because if you subscribe, it helps the channel. It gets it out there. YouTube sees, hey, you know, this is a channel with a lot of people. We got a good amount. But if you subscribe here, then it allows you the ability to give the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. All right. I know that I'm not going to always earn your thumbs up, and I'm going to make some people unhappy with the things that I say. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. You all know that. Jonathan, thanks again, bro. I'm working on the MMRI, brother. I am. Believe me, I am so sorry on this that I'm working on it, honestly. So anyway, I hope you do subscribe. I really, really do. Let's get this message out there. This is a message, people. And anyway, look, man, we got this. I got your back. You know I do. I promise you this from 1,000 years ago, it feels like to me. And we're coming together. We're making a positive difference, and that's all I really care about. All the other stuff is all just fluff on the sides, man. You understand? All right. See you guys in the morning. Love you all from the heart with all I got. Please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'll see all of you guys in the morning. And for you guys and girls that are maybe technical people, I did put a technical breakdown. As I said, there's a link in the description of the video of the stock market, the S&P 500, and of the dollar. You are allowed to disagree with me. In fact, if you do disagree with me, post a comment. Tell me, Greg, you know what? You got this right. You got this wrong. Well, Greg, you got it all wrong. Let me know. Because again, I don't even pretend to know everything. Okay. I know nothing. All right. But together, collectively, we're so much more strong than we are by ourselves. All right. See you all in the morning. All right. Bye.